Good day to everybody out there to see thy wealth, water your health, drink a glass of water. In today's topic, we're going to talk about Hassan Campbell basically telling us to vote for Donald Trump, but not telling us to buy land, to do for ourselves. And now, as we can see Hassan backtracking or apologizing for telling the people to vote for Donald Trump, it's a testament to what I've been saying in regards to him not exactly showing us how we can do for self. And this video basically is going to be about that, but the first thing I think that we should do as a people when it comes to wanting to buy land is, first of all, we should do our research. And second, we should probably try to get the most affordable piece of land that we can within the immediate jurisdiction that we live in, if that's what we're comfortable with. If you don't have a problem with going outside of your immediate state or county, then I would advise that, because you can always get something cheaper, especially if you live close to a major city like Manhattan or Los Angeles, Chicago, so on and so forth. There's nothing wrong with land out in Alabama, Tennessee. Now, if you look like me and you have skin complexion like me, you have to make sure that it's not a sundown town, meaning you can't hang out after the sun goes down because certain people are still racist. That's a part of your research. Second, you want to make sure that there's no liens on the property, no IRS liens, no mechanics liens, meaning no liens from contractors that have done duties on the properties that may not have been fulfilled. The lien wasn't fulfilled. You want to make sure that the property doesn't child support liens, code enforcement liens where the grass is too high. You want to make sure that if you're buying some land, none of these things are, going to prevent you from making some money off the land or affecting the title so you can get insurable title. Now, if you don't care about reselling the property and all you care about is just having possession, then disregard everything I just said. But if you want to have more than just possession, you want to have an interest, you want to have actual ownership interest to where, no one can take the property from you, then I suggest you to do your research. And if you're going to go and do this and buy property in this manner, make sure you check with the over-the-counter tax deeds first in your county. Sometimes it's called the sheriff's sale, but for the most part, it's over-the-counter. These are tax deeds that are held by the county that didn't sell at the local auction. Look at those properties first. They're really just what the person owed in back taxes and any penalties, fees, and surcharges that the county charged for the administration of the paperwork, right? So that's where I would tap into if I'm looking to buy some land. Because right now, more than ever, they got Donald Trump just bringing in the National Guard into D.C. I don't know what that means. I know that it's a big headline grabber, and this is what they're talking about right now. So Donald Trump has now ordered the National Guard to be brought in to D.C. What does that look like? Who knows? Now, Hassan Campbell is speaking about this because he feels bad for telling the people to go and vote for Donald Trump. Now, me personally, I don't care who you voted for. I really don't. Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, whoever, it doesn't matter to me. But for someone like Hassan, with a platform like yours, with all of this information, why can't you persuade or influence your followers to go and buy some land? You're not getting paid for that. Is that the reason? All you have to do is tell them to go buy some. And if you don't know how to convey that message, now I stepped in and I volunteered. This is how we can do it. In fact, I was going to pay to do that. But what we should be doing is we should be telling people how to buy the land, not to be preparing for the last days of earth and all this other stuff and live life as you're on the run and stay dangerous in these last days of America. It's just like, come on, brother. Why tell people to live as if they're on the run? That's not comfortable. And even if you don't want to live in comfort, it's just so much stress to live on I've been on the run before. Yes, to Delaware, to Canada, or the borderline up near Binghamton or Rochester, one of them cities, all the way down to Florida, back on a Greyhound. That's nothing comfortable about living like you're on a run. That's stressful. So you're telling people to live life as if they're on the run and stay dangerous instead of going to buy some land so they can take care of their family and they can feed themselves. Why speak about liberating the people if you're not teaching us how to get our own land or telling us to buy our own land for produce so we can grow our own food? Why talk about liberating the people? Or you're mad at my son or Tamika Mallory for doing this for Black Lives Matter, but you're arguing with Zip with the Drip or Mano, which is all entertainment. Cool. But take some time to at least divert some of your people that don't want to, that wants to be enlightened on how to buy some land. I'm trying to pay for commercial on your property, which is your YouTube channel. I don't know. I don't get it, man. That's why I say I don't really think that y'all really trying to help anybody. And if it ain't that black community, somebody will latch onto it, which is okay with me as long as the value is being provided somewhere. But you cannot speak about voting for Donald Trump or telling us to vote for Donald Trump, which you have the right to do, but you're also not telling the people to go out and buy some land or how to buy the land or have the right people to come in and buy the land. Is it that much? You don't want to give someone else that, you don't want to give someone that shine? Or because I'm not scamming anyone. They don't have to buy the land from me. They're going to the county and they have to be aware of what they're buying. Most counties have on their website directions on how to put up your deposit if you want to go to the auction, because you also can go to the auction. But if you want to go around the auction and go straight to the property, you can go to the over-the-counter tax deeds. The auction is where you're going to compete with other individuals such as myself, such as Hassan Campbell, such as Zip. These guys will also be at the auction with their money, $15,000, $20,000, $40,000, whatever they got, and they're going to be competing. So it's a lot more difficult as a new person that's coming in that wants to get some property. So I suggest to go to the over-the-counter tax deeds. You don't have the pressure. Well, I don't want to say you don't have the pressure, because even if you're going to the auction, you do your research well before you go. But if you're going to the over-the-counter, it's just you and the property, not you and competing against me and how much money I can put up. And even if it did matter, it doesn't matter. If a property isn't worth what you've already researched it to be, you shouldn't go above that threshold anyway. And what may be worth something to you may not be worth it to me. You may say, you know what? I live in this county in, Hillsborough County, Florida, and this is where I grew up. It makes sense for me to spend $40,000 on this or whatever. But that's you. I might not buy it for 40. I may think it's only worth 14,000. But I don't have that type of connection to it in that way. Now, if you just want to get some land so you can go off grid and you're just looking for the cheapest thing you can get, man, start anywhere. Start anywhere, the most desirable place for you. And then you start looking up if it comes to off grid, you start looking up the restrictions in your county or your state on that. But if it's just for a regular piece of land, just so you can go and start growing your own food on your, do your research there as well, contacting the local municipalities such as the zoning, the permitted places to see what you can and cannot do, because that's what it takes in those particular jurisdictions. Here is different. I don't have to go through all that bull crap. But we want to get the land, quarter acre, half acre, 5,000 square feet, 6,700 square feet, whatever it is. We want to get the land and we want to go to the auction, and we want to stop giving our ear to these people like Hassan, who isn't putting even everybody else. Listen, do what you want to do, to be honest with you. I shouldn't say we shouldn't give our ear to Hassan. I'm sure Hassan has a message to certain people that is going to resonate. And I resonated with some of it, because a lot of it is, I don't want to say I resonated with some of it, but it's good. It's interesting to hear other people's perspectives and deliveries and how they navigate this whole terrain of social media. And Hassan is someone that has a presence. So it's just, someone that has a presence from the algorithm that thought that I should see him. And I don't know, it is what it is, man. All I think is we should have some land. We should be teaching people how to get the land. And I think a lot of us don't want to talk about how to get the land for free because it isn't putting no money back in our pockets. But at the end of the day, what's going to put money back into my pockets is, guess what? Living right here for free off the land that I bought with cash. You don't have to do it to this extent. You can go to Florida. I've seen pieces of land starting off at $1,700. You can't get to it. It takes you some bulldozing and some weed, a whole bunch of other things to get to it. $1,700, you're gonna have to come off on the back end and put that sweat equity in, right? But there's no way in the world that I'm gonna sit down and be telling someone to go vote for this one and that one, and I'm not teaching you how to vote for your own household, which is to be able to provide family for the ones that you love. Or most importantly, yourself, and then the ones you love. But you definitely have to be able to grow your own food. This is a message that hits home every day, because this is something we do every day. I don't know. I've always liked to go directly to the plug when I was hustling. A lot of people nowadays, they want to go straight to China to get the product. I see nothing wrong with that. So if you want to go directly to the plug, go directly to the store and get you some seeds, so you don't have to keep going to the produce store. Go and get you some kale, $3.99 for the organic, for some kale. Red peppers, $4.99 a pound. Come on now, avocados, $2.99. Seriously? Coconuts, $7. Cucumbers, $2 for $1. Or $1, whatever they are. This is stuff that we can eliminate. Squash. All of this stuff we can eliminate with going to get our own seeds. I like what Yaki is doing when it comes to that, because he's showing that he has his a farm. Hassan Campbell, Zip with the Drip, these rappers, these entertainers, they show you that they got the drip. That's cool, but also show you that you got the farm and you can grow your own food. You got Styles P and a Jewish Styles with Pharmacy for Life. But where are y'all sourcing this produce from? Where are y'all sourcing your produce? That's another video. I'm gonna go into that. But anyway, I appreciate y'all for tapping in with me. You know, I feel like Hassan Campbell has a heavy platform, you know, but sometimes we have to jump into the dirty section to get people to come over to the clean section, which is growing our own food. Because I'm not saying I'm a clean person, definitely not, but I'm getting better, and I'm actually growing my own food and becoming more clean in that way. You know, I'm getting better, and I feel like if we're gonna do things, we have to do it from a place of showing that we have it, because it's hard to grasp the concept of you telling me to do something and you're not actually showing me that you have it or that you're doing it. For me, it's difficult. Escort, it's easy to look the part, to make it seem like that's how you can draw that type of, but it's hard to maintain that. It's easy to do that. You gotta show some substance. You gotta show the substance. If you're not showing no substance, what's the point? Because that's no substance. You can't eat that. You cannot eat it. I got multiple houses behind me, multiple cabins, without a mortgage. And that's where I want to live. I want to live to where I don't have to pay anybody. I don't want to have to get up every day and struggle to get on YouTube to create a video so I can get paid. Coming up with comments that or content that's going to grab the headlines so I can get paid. If I feel like I want to talk about a topic, I'm going to move in that direction. If I don't feel like I want to talk about a topic, I'm not going to move in that direction. I don't want to say anything on this platform to get my channel stricken or striked. Now that I don't want to do, because then my message isn't getting out there. So I don't know, like my channel, like 1 minute you'll see some growth with it, and then the next minute it's this YouTube thing is a really tricky terrain. It's really tricky. But for someone like me that's not chasing anything, this is what I have to deal with, because I'm not really chasing it. I'm just giving you what it is every day that I'm doing, and I'm presenting it to you. I'm living off grid with solar panels, fruit trees, garden, right? No mortgage, no water bill, no electrical bill. I'm actually showing you what I'm living. If I'm traveling and I'm going to LA and New York or Miami, I'm showing you those things. If I'm cooking healthy food, I'm showing you some of those things. If I'm having a relationship, I might show you those things. I'm not here to give you everything right now. I mean, we spoon feed and we taste test and we figure out this water the way we need to, and then we'll start to go into the deep end. But right now, we're slowly and we're moving our way through, right? There ain't nothing wrong with that. It's sunny out here today. We getting all this free air conditioning if we want to use AC in the house, because we have solar panels on our home. We can go in the house and turn the water on and just let it run, because we have water coming from a well and from the rain when we have rain. We've bought properties from the tax deed auction. We bought properties from we bought tax lien certificates. We bought them from the regular auction where we've competed. The most recent one we bought in Jacksonville, Florida, for 80,000, little over 80,000. We've purchased properties in this particular manner. Land, properties with mobile homes on it, properties with homes on it. Only thing I really haven't bought was a condo or a townhouse from the auction. I've bought condos and townhouses outside of the auction, but the auction is, and that was before I got hip to where I am now. But there's no way that and I shouldn't say that I won't buy properties conventionally, because that's really all I've bought mostly in the last 4 years is conventionally through a real estate agent, or owner, seller. That's because the strategy that I had, I was able to do it that way. I was still able to create a nice yield doing it that way. But I'm telling you to go to get the land from the auction, because I know that a lot of us don't really have a whole lot of money. So if you got $2,500 and you may see something in South Carolina that's in the back, if you look at the GIS map and it's showing you that it's all trees and there's no roads and none of that, if like $2,300 ain't gonna get that for you over in Philly where you living at, and you can get it in South Carolina, maybe you might want to take that look. Maybe you might want to take that look. $2,300 for an acre of land or a half acre of land, and you got to pay 20-some thousand up in Philly, near Philly on the outskirts. Maybe you at $2,300 to get you a nice, no mortgage. All you have to worry about it is property tax. And if you know how to do your thing and finagle, and then maybe you don't even have to do that. And I shouldn't say finagle, but you know, man, listen, man, the land is where it's at. The land, not man, not the land. So the auction, do your research, make sure that property has no liens on it, and take a risk. $400, Mississippi, trust me. Do your research and you got it. And I'm you to go pull the trigger today. No, do your research first. I bought properties before that have had multiple liens on them that I've been able to get out of. Some that I wasn't able to get out of, but by the grace of God, the way that it played out, I was able to, everything, one hand washed the other. And we was able to still capitalize on that property in Daytona Beach, Florida, back in 2000, year 2000, COVID. Bought it in 2019, sold it in 20. Yeah. So yeah, man, go get you some land. Hassan Campbell, Zip with the Drip, Doggy Diamonds, MREC, all of the YouTubers that speak, they speak, and talk, they talk. I'm inviting y'all to show or to go purchase some land yourself. And I'm not counting nobody's pockets, but I'm sure most of y'all are, all of y'all are monetized. Go get you some land. Then show your followers that you got the land. And then start growing you some food. Spread the awareness. Y'all talking about helping people. Spread the awareness, that's all. Star, you know. Anyway, this is See Thy Wealth. I'm telling you to water your health just like you would water your plants or your flowers, and go drink a glass of water. And with that, everybody have a good day. It's beautiful out here. It's hot, sunny, and I couldn't ask for a better day. Actually, I could, but I know I am where I'm supposed to be because God got me here. I'm in a perfect location. The universe wants me to be right here. Peace.